Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am once again by myself. As this used to be the money show, and we might go back every once in a while, but this is now considered our relationship show with Love, Demetra K, where I have asked people to send me emails anonymously or if they want to show their name or whatever, we could do that as well. I've also invited people on here if they have a scenario as far as a relationship question or something like that they want us to help them answer or solve. So today we actually have two emails, and I think they're very, very interesting. But I should also say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Facebook, and X. They used to be known as Twitter, if you will, for joining me here. You're not just viewers, but you are the other side of the conversation, and you are family. From time to time, I do share the link so that you can come up here and voice an opinion, asking a question, or whatever it is. All I ask is that you show me your face so that I can make sure that there's no shenanigans involved. Because time to time we do have people who think it's a joke and want to come up here and do silly stuff. So we want to avoid that. Hello, Shiloh. Hello, Mike. Hello, Troy. How you doing? Um, and so Donovan will be back here. I'm assuming on Sunday. I'm not sure where he is. He might still be in Louisiana, but nevertheless, he shall be back. So I'm waiting for everybody else to come on here. But in the meantime, if you all are interested in sending an email or coming on the show, there is the information there. The email is ilovedk@gmail.com. ilovedk@gmail.com. Again, if you want it to be on an anonymous side, we will do that, as we never want to put anybody out there. What's for dinner? Black America. I don't know. What you making? So anyway, we never want to embarrass anybody or make anybody feel bad. And that's not the purpose of the show, is to, do the got you, as we see on a lot of these so-called dating shows or whatever it is. We're never going to do that here. It's always going to be in love and really to try to get to the bottom of whatever the quarry is, if you will. So as I said, I have two emails. One comes from a woman who basically says every man she dates is boring, and they only want to talk about, laying down. And then another email from another woman. For whatever reason, I have all women sending me emails. I love to have some men, but she's basically saying that a guy that had been pursuing her, she finally gave him a chance, and then he dropped the ball. He flaked out, if you will. So we're going to see if we can help her get some of these questions that she asked me answered. Hi, Marjorie. How are you doing today? So again, if you are interested in being a part of the show, go ahead and email me there. For this particular show, you guys know in the other shows, we open up the link and usually we'll have other topics like politics or something like that. But again, this is a show that y'all asked me for. This has been in the making for years. I always joked about, especially talking to men, you guys need to find out what's behind the booty. And the premise of that is ask more questions, right? Don't just look at her body and assume she's good. Because a lot of times men, and not just men, but just from that point of view, get involved with a woman on the strength of her being fine. And then when you get to know her, it's like, And of course, we always hear a lot of stories about men impregnating women, and then the woman wants to take them to child support court and, all that other stuff. So it's really what's behind the booty is to help men. And it can go the other way too, as far as women, to avoid those type of situations. And so Black America says that's mostly all we want from you as women. Well, not all of you just want that. I would probably, I don't know, I'm not a man, so I take your word for it, but I'm thinking there's some men out there that want more than just, a roll around in the hay. So I don't know. But nevertheless, if you guys are interested, there we have it. So I'm going to bring this down and then I'll put it back up later on throughout the show. And so I will go ahead and get started. Carlos, how are you? I can actually send you a link now if you want to come on. Let me send you a link. Y'all give me one moment so I can send Carlos a link. I really believe this is going to be super interesting. So there you have it. It's on its way. Oops. Okay. So you crazy talking about they want Miss Netta. Oh my God. Hey Doe, how you doing? What's going on with you, M? So I'm gonna wait for Corliss to come on up and then I can get what I got to say out. So anyway, let's see who else is on here. Negroes, how you doing? And Joe, how are you? Says there's much more to a relationship than just. Well, tell that to Black America. Black America's the one that's saying no. That's all we want from you all. And Nano, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the compliments. I hope that you are doing fabulous this evening. And Black America says yellow means what's for dinner. What's for dinner? What? Oh, you said yellow meanie for dinner? What are you calling me yellow? And you know what? Let me address this. Okay, no worries, Corley. So whenever you get a chance, somebody came on into my comment section yesterday or this morning and says, am I skin bleaching? Am I skin bleaching? I'm like, is that still fashionable? Are people still skin bleaching? But the answer is no. I'm a Southern California girl, and usually, I'm in the sun more. In Houston, not as much. So no, I'm not skin bleaching at all. It might even be my lighting. You see, when I take my lighting off, I'm not as light. But see, I put my light on, then maybe that, I don't know. Nevertheless, let's get into it. Okay, y'all ready? Let's go with the first email. It says, Dear Demetra, at this point in my life, I am completely off dating. I'm done with it. I am a 33-year-old woman who has yet to see the benefits of dating in today's society. I have encountered and talked to a variety of men, and it seems like, regardless of the type, they all are all the same. From the squares all the way down to the pookies. When I talk to men, it always feels like there's an alternative game, or rather, an alternate game, rather, being played, and it's exhausting. Almost every man I talk to has the same issue. They are boring. Okay. They don't know how to be with women outside of just sex. They don't know how to be real companions. Getting men has never been an issue, but finding one that's truly interested and engaged in me as a person is challenging. Was dating like this before social media and our ability to communicate on a global level? Wow. So as y'all heard there, she's saying that for the lack of better words, men are the other men that she's dated are boring and they only want to talk about one thing, which is getting in the bed, right? And if you ask me, that's probably boring if they're boring, but nevertheless. So the question that she wants to know was dating like this before social media and our ability to communicate on a global level? Because I was actually around before social media, and she's 33, so I imagine she was somewhat around before social media, but maybe not dating because maybe she was younger. It's funny because I always say it seems like it was easier to get to get into a relationship, right? To get a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or whatever. It didn't seem like it was as hard as it is now. And I would imagine because people didn't have as much access to other people as they do now, right? With the internet, you could be with anybody, like she said, on the global level, you could be with somebody in Sweden or Africa. It could be a long distance relationship, but you could still have some sort of a relationship with them. And I think too, social media hasn't helped because on social media, you can be anybody you want to be, right? You can be this nice, wonderful woman. You're very adventurous and, with all the filters and everything going on, you can totally be somebody else. And then when you meet that person in person, it's like, I really could have had a V8, you're actually kind of boring. I like the internet you better than the real you in person. And so I think too, with the inception of social media, people have lost those real life skills, those real life ability to actually have a conversation with people. A lot of times people don't even want to pick up the phone anymore. They want to text. Especially for me being in an older generation. Lord, I'm dreading that I'm even having to say that I'm in an older generation. But I remember, the phone with the receiver and all of that with the very long cord. And, I grew up in a house with siblings. So we had to share the phone. We didn't have a copious amount of phone lines and stuff. Like everybody in the household now has their own cell phone. So, you know, with the regular phone before texting and all of that, we had to actually get on the phone and have a conversation, you know. But if you were starting out, of course, it was kind of rough. Like, so what are you doing? I don't know. What are you doing? But as you were on the phone more, you were able to cultivate better communication skills because you got to know that person, right? You actually had to hear their voice and hear the intonations and the inflections and, all that kind of stuff in their voice. But with text messaging, especially, a lot of times could be misread, miscommunication. Somebody might think you're being mean when you say something. You're like, no, 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 no. I was just joking. And I'm going to get to you guys' comments too, which is why a lot of times now when a person sends a text or something, they have to put like an emoji or something, haha, a laughy face or whatever it is to kind of let that person know, like, no, I'm joking. I'm not serious here. So I would just imagine before social media that people really had to put their best foot forward, not this made up person on the internet. I mean, how many of us have actually met somebody uh, outside the internet and not even really on a dating level, just anybody in general? And you're like, you're a lot different off of the internet. You just, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily have to be something bad, but it just, I don't know. And I guess for the internet, you really can't be yourself. I say for me, what y'all see on here is what y'all get, in person. But that's easier for me and for y'all to kind of gauge me because y'all see me on here often, right? Um, but let's say you didn't see me on here and it was all just, text messaging or sending, comments or whatever, then you wouldn't really get a feel for who I am. So yeah, to answer her question now, as far as these men being boring, and I'm just saying the men she talking about, I heard a quote. One of my favorite shows is Mad Men. It came on AMC, and I mean to binge watch it again. But Don Draper, he was having a conversation with his receptionist Peggy, and she, says something about she was boring, and he says, "Boring people are bored." She said she was bored. He says, "Bored people are boring." And she looked. And then when I heard, I thought about it, I was like, is there some truth to that? Are bored people boring? Because for me personally, I rarely get bored. If I get bored, it's probably because I need to go to sleep, right? It's because I've been, burning the candles at both ends or just exhausted or whatever. So I tend to go to sleep because I'm always doing something. But I think there's something to that. Now, I will say this. If you're just meeting somebody and they are truly a boring person, I think we need to define what boring actually means. If they're truly a boring person, you could be the most lively person, the most, conversational person in the world. If that person is boring and they really have nothing to say, then it's like pulling teeth, right? We've all been in that situation where we're talking to somebody, and then the other situation could be is they're not that into us, or maybe it's their personality. I'm one of those people personally. I don't want to carry the conversation, and trust me, I am very talkative. I am, but I don't want to do all the talking. So, what are you interested in? How was your day? It was good. Now I'm trying to find something else to to talk about. So it's very hard to be with people who are boring. And I think, as I said, we need to define boring. Is it a personality trait that they're just maybe quiet? They're not very talkative? Because you can not be very talkative, but have something to say. Now, there's some people who aren't talkative, but when they do speak, they have nothing to say. It's all kind of surface stuff. Huh? That's a nice tree. Yeah, it is. Do you know what kind of tree it is? No, but it's a nice tree. So I would say to Anybody who's dealing with somebody who's boring, if they're not your cup of tea, then let them know that. I thought it was going to work or whatever, but and if you don't want to be friends, just don't be friends either. Because if they are horrible at getting to know you on a relationship level, then they're probably not going to be that good of a friend either. It's hard being the one that's doing all the talking. Trust me, I know. So anyway, let me get to you guys' comments and see what you guys have to say about all of the dates that she's gone on. For the most part, are boring, and she said they don't really know how to be a good companion. So, all right, let's see. Oh Lord, it's your comment. Okay, so Corliss says, come on now, stop it. And then Black America says, no, that's for Corliss. Okay, got you. And Courtney Marie's mom, how you doing? Says, hello everyone. And Soto, what's going on with you? Yes, indeed, Corliss, we do glow. And Soto says, what does she look like? I don't know what they look like. They just send me an email. So does looks have anything to do with somebody being boring? I don't know. I'm just wondering. And he also said now we had to actually talk to people. Yeah. I remember being a kid and a junior high and high school thinking I'm about to be talking on the phone to somebody. And it was kind of rough to try to figure out what to talk about because you're a kid. What do you really talk about? You like to skate, you like to ride bikes. What's your favorite cartoon? Because that's the stuff you should be talking about, right? You shouldn't be talking about too much other things outside of the cute stuff. You also say our social media was the want ad before social media came. Okay. Or your social media was going outside, right? Going to the mall. We've all been to the mall, skating rink, or amusement park, whatever, and exchange numbers. That's when you actually had to get you a little pen and paper, right? You might have taken one with you or got one and wrote your number down, and God forbid you lost it. Because if you lost it, you lost it. Unless you just bumped into them somewhere else, right? So you got it stuck in your pocket or your purse. And then, or if you gave the guy your number, they call you, and that's kind of how you got it going. But nowadays you can just hop in somebody's inbox, say, hey, big head, and the rest is history. You say you can't carry a bed around on your arse. You are pretty much saying that's all you are worth. Be what you want to receive. Obviously, you just a bed with a hole. And that's the thing too. Y'all know I'm an advocate of really getting to know people before you jump in a sack with somebody. And that's kind of the problem too. A lot of people just say, okay. And I know, especially like on a lot of those dating apps, which I've never been on one. I entertained it once, but then, a lot of people's like, no, you don't want to do it. So I know on those dating apps, a lot of times that's what people want. They're like, hey, I'm just here for a good time. And I guess if you agree, then that's what you do, right? A lot of people aren't really looking for a long-term relationship, even though sometimes they say they are. Sometimes I've been glitching on here since yesterday, so hopefully I don't do it. But if it does, it'll come back on. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. All right, so let's see here. You dog, what's going on with you? You says we have too much stimulation. You are not lying. We are all overstimulated. Whether it's the internet, it's the TV. I'm 52 years old. I remember when TV went off. When TV went off, it was off. But now you can stay up all night long. If you woke up in the middle of the night, you didn't pick up your phone and you start to scrolling, and then 35 hours later, it's like, oh, shoot, I didn't go back to sleep. Or you weren't able to roll over and turn the TV on, because if you did, you see snow, right? Or that color wheel, because TV had gone off. But now we are so overstimulated where people can reach you all times of the night. See, as I said, I'm from the old school where it wasn't customary, or it wasn't considerate to call somebody after, let's say, 9 o'clock, right? Because those are considered like, okay, people are going to bed, the household is winding down. And so we just didn't. If you like, when I was coming, if you called my house too late asking for me, you was gonna get an earful from one of my parents. So Corliss says the round dial, okay. And that's what they said too. These youngsters don't know the satisfaction of slamming the phone down in somebody's face. Black America says men are supposed to be entertainment for women. Well, then why are they boring? Travis, how you doing? It says social media helps people paint a narrative that doesn't reflect reality. This causes a short attention span in the dating world because of a distorted perspective of how things should be. Oh, you are not lying. The internet, there's hardly any reality on there because people could be whoever they want to be. You don't know who you're talking to. I mean, unless you're now doing a FaceTime and thinking Messenger, you could call people up or whatever. But you really don't know who you're talking to. That's why I encourage, people to actually get on the phone with people and hear their voice and hear how they sound. Do they sound a lot different than their text messages or, in your inbox? Well, what are they talking about? Because that's important. Carla says the emergency breakthrough. Boy, I tell you, the emergency breakthrough operators. I had to do that a couple of times on my baby daddy. I had to do emergency breakthrough because I know he was talking to a heifer, and those things were expensive too. That was before call waiting, right? Miss Sweet Talk, how you doing? It says, good evening, beautiful Demetria. Thank you so much for the compliment. And M says, I hear you, DK. I'm the same offline, online. Yeah, I think it's important that we should be, and I get it, maybe you're not feeling confident enough to be yourself. But if you're not feeling confident enough to be yourself, then don't try to engage in a relationship with somebody until you feel good about yourself or whatever the case is, because there is somebody for everybody, right? You don't have to try to be somebody you're not. And Marjorie says, listening at Demetria K and friends, Black First, we are lacking verbal and natural contact with each other. Back in the days, we'd hug and greet each other. Now you dare to say hello without a smug or an eye roll. Yeah, I try to say hello to everybody that crosses my path. Hi, how you doing? Or something like that. But yeah, everybody is they're not open to that. So, and that's okay. I never take it personally because I don't know you, but I did want to extend a salutation to you. How you doing or whatever, just to be nice. But you don't say hi to me, I don't care. Carla says, I'm never bored. I love life. Yeah, I'm rarely bored too because I always have something to do. Jay, how you doing? If I didn't already, so you're saying hello to M. And brother Reggie, how you doing? How are you doing over there in Japan? And yes, thank you for reminding people to hit the like button. I love and appreciate you for that. Jay says the thing is, opposites do not attract, commonality attracts. That's actually a really good concept because we do hear that opposites attract, and I'm gonna tell you, no, they really don't, because you're not, as they would say, equally yoked. I don't believe anybody will totally be equal, but I do think you should have some commonality, right? It kind of be hard to be a Christian and you dating a devil worshiper because that's opposite, right? But you should have some things in common. You also say men and women are not opposites. Men are XY chromosome, and women are XX chromosome. That is not opposite. Okay. And Soto says, as an only child for 13 years, I've learned to entertain myself so I can either have fun with you or without you. Yeah, I grew up with siblings. We all shared a room for a very long time. So I guess that's kind of where I learned social skills. And then all of my parents were very, I don't want to say talkative, but they have very good communication skills. And so that's where we all learned it from as well. But yeah, when you share a room with your siblings, you have to learn to get along and have conversations and stuff. And some fights too. And let's see here. You also say J laugh. Oh no, you're talking to M. You say, oh Lord, laugh out loud. You also say, okay, let's see. Black America says, good men are boring. Explain that. What do you mean by good men are boring? Like you don't have nothing to say? Because I think for the most part, women probably are a little bit more talkative than men. So I get a man probably like rolling his eyes like, when is she going to be quiet? But if she's doing a lot of talking, it's probably because you're not. I don't know. But good men are boring. Let's see here. Negroes, you say, I think most people can't really open up until you really get to know them. People are, he says, autistic. Is that what you're saying? Introverted and My daughter's laughing like you can't read. Autistic, and introverted, and the like. So it can take some time. Um, yeah, yeah, I guess. But how long do you need to take to open up? Because if you agreed to go out on a date with me or get to know me, like, what are you doing? I think you should open up before you get there. Don't have me sitting at the table with you and you know what I'm saying? Like, open up so I can get to know you so we can see if we're compatible. But if you show up to the date and you don't talk and you kind of standing there or sitting there and looking crazy, then I'm probably going to be turned off. Like, no, that's a little bit too much work for me. Be trying to figure out, how to get this person to talk and open up. Like, tell me about yourself. And the last good man in Jersey, how you doing? He says boring probably means that she's delusional. She expects to be entertained without putting any effort. Um, hmm. Does a person need to be entertained to not be boring? Because I think I understand that because I've been in that situation before where people are just boring. Not even just men, but just in general with just different people. People are just boring. So I don't know if anybody's necessarily looking to be entertained, like tell me a joke, tap dance, or something like that. But if we're on a date and we're getting to know each other, like, what's on your mind? Tell me about yourself. Something. I don't know. What do you like? Well, I don't know. Something. But I'm not gonna be pulling no teeth. We too grown for us to be out there, and I'm, trying to figure out what makes you click. Let me know. Otherwise, we probably not gonna hang out. Maybe somebody else out there, and y'all can look like two peas in the pods and not talk to each other. I don't know. Uh, Black America says looks are important. I wouldn't take an unattractive woman to Del Taco. Okay. Soto says, I forgot about the pen and paper. Yeah, that was old school. We didn't have no cell phones here. Put your number in my phone. You didn't have all of that. You didn't have a piece of paper or something or a pen. Then how did you get the number, right? You remember you have to maybe write it on your hand and hope that you don't sweat it off or whatever. By the time you're able to get home and write the number down, and sometimes one or two of the numbers are missing. It's like, well, maybe next time. OG, how you doing? Negroes says, but it's good to have similar interests. So maybe that woman is attracting what she deems boring. Maybe she's the same. I mean, it could be. It could be that she's the same. I don't know. It could be a whole host of things. I just know that I'm not attracted to boring people either. And boring is subjective. It means something different to everybody else. What's boring to me may be exciting to somebody else. But my personality trait is I like to talk. Like I said, I'm cerebral. I'm from the neck up. I want to have conversations, about everything, not just about serious stuff. I like to crack jokes and just talk about off cuff stuff. So I want to see if you can hold a conversation. What are you other than just cute? I know that maybe works for women with men, but for me as a woman, I need you to be more than just cute. What can you do? Like, what's on your mind? Open your mouth so I can understand what's on your mind. You know. Um. And Black America says, "You women really don't know men. This is sad, and y'all don't know women either. But somehow we still keep getting together." Quita, how you doing? And Doe says, "TV went off at 12 a.m. Yep, that was it. Take your the bed, and then you wake up. You might get to watch cartoons or the news or something like that. But now it's all day long. Like I said, stimulated all day long." Jay says, women really know nothing about men. Men know women better. Okay. M says, yep. The Star Spangled Banner and the announcement about the opinions here do not represent the management, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Let's see here. Rotary phone. Yes, indeed. And Bill says, I have a landline phone. You probably one of the last people that have one. Don, how you doing? This Soto says, I missed the sound of the rotary phone, shaking my head. Yep. I keep saying I want to get one just for nostalgia's sake. And OG says, I never looked at the board being boring. Gotta remember to tell them that. Yeah, that's what Don Draper said on Mad Men. Bored people are boring. You know what I mean? Because can you be entertained by yourself? Do you need stimulation or somebody to talk to or somebody to be in the room with you? My niece, when I was in California, she would come in my room and I wouldn't have nothing on. I wouldn't have TV, computer, music, or nothing. And I would just be sitting there. And she's like, I feel so bad for you. I'm like, why? Because you're just in here and you're not doing anything. And it's sad. I said, I'm good. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking. I don't need to have all that going on. I'm good. This is where I really get to unwind when there's nothing going on. So a lot of times I won't have anything on so that I can just think and have my own brain instead of having the phone on, the TV, the text. As I told you, I don't even wear my watch no more, my smartwatch, because whenever my phone does something, the watch does something. So if I don't have my phone, my watch will tell me somebody's calling, somebody's texting, somebody's emailing, somebody's doing this, somebody's doing that. Somebody commented on this, that, and the other. And so I was like, I'm taking it off because I found myself overstimulated and, other reasons as well. And I feel much better. And Jay says, loving yourself is difficult for most. Yeah, it is. But that's what we're put here to do, figure out how to do that. It's not like you solve it once and then you go about life. You continue finding ways to love yourself because you have to do that, especially in today's world, right? And Carla says, girl, they'll have you call and you'll be talking to their friend. Catfish is real. Oh, that. Now that happened a couple times back in the day, right? Damon, how you doing? It says positive energy to all in the chat. Appreciate the tribe the tribute. I can read you did to Councilman Eric Mays. Or I that was actually one of my favorite videos that I did for the week. It's just very crazy that he's not here. It was very full of life, So I really wanted to do that, but thank you. Y'all check that out on African Diaspora News Channel. Jay says the reason that we can see every flaw we have. Cosmo Energy, how you doing? Long time no see. He says, hey, Demetra, what do you think about guys that say they don't want a relationship but treat you like their woman, holding hands, kissing, hugging in public, want to spend a lot of time? I think they're saying, I don't really want to commit to you, but I don't want you to go nowhere. So I think in that situation, you have to let them know you ain't holding no place here, homeboy. You either need to make your intentions known with me, or, I'm going to have to free up some space. I'm going to have to free up some space so somebody else who's got some, better intentions with me can come and occupy it, and, we can see if we're a match. But no, you can't be holding hands and be lovey-dovey with me, and you ain't got no real intentions for me. You don't want a relationship. We doing all the things in a relationship, but you don't want to call it a relationship. Why? Sound like you got some commitment issues. And so if you're all right with that, then fine. But if you're not all right with that, I got to let that joker know. You ain't gonna be using me as no plaything. Because my daddy say you to be the main thing, not the plaything. So, and Perry, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. And Soto says, yeah, opposite don't attract. And Don says, I spend a lot of time alone and I'm hella entertaining to me. Especially when you spend time alone, you got to be entertaining. Sometimes I be cracking myself up. And M says, dear little women, if you jump in bed with that dude without conditions, he has figured you out. He has figured out you will jump in bed with anybody. He will practice on you, but he won't wife you. And that's some really good advice. But yeah, don't let nobody treat you like a trampoline, especially somebody you're not trying to be with, or somebody who hasn't made it clear that they're not trying to be with you. You ain't gonna be treating me like no trampoline. Is you crazy? Go do that with homegirl and homegirl over there who will let you do all that, but you can't do that with me. And Doe says good men are responsible. I would say so. I would say that's definitely a trait. And Jay said that is why marriage does not work. People fall in love. They should fall in compatibility. Forget love. Compatibility is commonality. I agree with you. I don't think people should fall in love. I think you should think in love, right? Leave this out of the equation. All those butterflies and the lovey-dovey and the fluffy. No, you need to, think about love here. Is this person a fit for me? Am I a fit for them? Are we on the same page, or hell, even in the same book? And if you can't come up with yes, 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 to those, then yeah, you probably shouldn't be hanging out with that person on that level anyway. Don't need no man. Stop telling me I do. How you doing? And you say, Jay, my grandmother told me never marry for love, marry only for compatibility, and you will grow to love and stay together. I agree with that, because people fall out of love quickly, right? Uh, Especially early on in a relationship. Oh, I'm so in love. Oh, I love you. Oh, I cannot just stand to be away from you. Oh, you're my everything. And then when that, dies down, it's like, but you didn't build a relationship on anything else. Just the facade of I love you. But after that wears off, you got to keep finding ways and reasons to stay in love with that person. And unfortunately, people don't know how to do that. Hero, how you doing? He says only toxic females say good men are boring. I don't think anybody said good men are boring. That was Black America that said good men are boring. I didn't say that. A man said good men are boring. I just want to make that clear. And Perry says, if women want that thug love, sorry, I'm not a thug. I mean, there's some women out there that want the thug love, that they do, and that's fine if that's what they want. But you should want that from somebody who could give that to you. Don't get with Poindexter or a man who, just every day or whatever, and expect for him to give you the thug love. Get with a thug that can give you some love, and there's some thugs out there who know how to get some love. So absolutely. Facts, not feelings. How you doing? Altruistic. So is that what they meant? Because that's why I think I got kind of tongue tied, because I'm like, autistic? Okay. But how you doing this evening? And Miss Sweet, you say, I enjoy a boring relationship with a little excitement. Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. You don't want to have to worry about where he at all day long, and he running the streets and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's a little too much excitement. Okay, need you to come home sometimes. Jay says we have to stop the emotional nonsense. Love is a transit emotion. He said you really don't fall in love anyway. You grow to love everyone, including your own mother. Yeah, all that other stuff is puppy love. It's surface love, right? It's the, oh gosh, I heard it best this way. It's like driving a new car. We've all gotten behind the wheel of a new car, the new car smell and the interior, the way it drives. It's new, it's exciting, right? After a couple of months, it's like, it's just a car. It's a car. It still works. It still functions. It still gets you where you need to go, but it's just a car now. But you don't just throw that car away unless you got money or you got a habit, or whatever. But you learn to drive the car, even though you're not enamored by the car anymore. So absolutely. Soto says, so if good men are boring, then what are bad men? Dangerous? I didn't say that. That was Black America. So y'all need to take that up with him. Miss Sweet, she says, why are men always calling Black women delusional? I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about that word. I said, people really just throw that word delusional. And what's the other word that people are using? Not toxic, it's delusional. And I use the word lunacy. People are really just throwing that word around. It's like, but if you truly knew the definition of delusional, it ain't what people are applying it to because a person disagrees with you. Delusional is really like you're seeing or hearing something that's not really there. Carla says, we had the party line. We sure did. Cosmo, you say they're not compatible. There's no chemistry, period. Let that go. Yeah, don't try to force it. There's a song back in the day my mom used to listen to. If it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. It's really that simple. Don't try to have to, force something. Deanna, where am I going to send you a link? Okay, I'm going to put the link in. I'm going to put the link in the comment section for you. Or do you want to sit here next to me?
Hell no, I don't want to sit next to you.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to send you a link right here. So I'm going to put this link in here for my daughter. She's got something to say, which is odd. Okay, so I'm going to let you click the link.
Don't let no one else click it.
No one else is going to click it. Okay, it's in the link. And I gotta actually catch up on these comments. So all right, so let's see. Jay says humans do not fall in love; they fall in lust. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And Black America says boring means good men want to go to work and income and come home. Says maybe have a hobby like bowling. Okay, got you. All right, so let me skip down a little bit. Travis says I went on a boring internet date once. As I'm driving her home, I clipped a yellow taxi cab and almost had to fight the driver. I fled the accident scene and had to drive into oncoming traffic to lose him. I got invited upstairs to her place. She was like, ugh, my God. And what happened after that? Hero, you say women have always had the luxury of not having to learn and know men, but men always had the job of having to learn women. I don't know what time period that was in, where the expectation was for women not to I have to learn men, but you should. How you gonna be with somebody you don't know nothing about? You know. And Jay says the idea that children love their mothers in the womb is nonsense. You can take a newborn from a mother, and the newborn won't make a sound if warm fed or changed. Well, I mean, absolutely, you know. But if you intend on keeping your child, yeah, the child grows to love you like that. You know, once they're attached to you, and all of that, they know you to be their mother. Now, love that might develop later. I would agree with that, but they have an attachment to you. And attachment doesn't always mean love. So I agree with you. Adingo says I love sitting in a room by myself, reading and writing to no TV. Yeah, same here. I just sitting sometimes and doing nothing. Hey Frank, how you doing? Long time no see. And Lock Vegas 05, how you doing? It says they like the girlfriend experience. Yeah. Um, the new phase, right? The newness of it all. But when it wears off, it's like, now what? Now what we gonna do? You know, we didn't made it in every room, hung from every chandelier in the house, and now it's just, now what? Our Negro says they want to keep the gate open. Yeah, it's like, no, you ain't gonna keep the gate open if you ain't put your major intentions known. And that's Deanna, professional city group. All right, give me 1 second. Janice, how you doing? And let me skip down just a tiny bit. Hello, Stephen. I hope you are well today. And Carla says, baby, love never made it to the door. Okay, and our Negro says people have to be real. I think people come into relationships not truly being themselves. You wake up 2.5 years later, I think you meant, and realize you don't know the person because everyone has been pretending. Yeah, a lot of people send their representative. They don't really send who they are. Corla says it's an emotional high. People don't love anymore. Yep, it's the warm and fuzzy, right? And Gilvetta, how you doing? Long time no see. Yes, indeed. I hope you have been well. Okay, and Frankie says a lot of these are narratives to divide us. Some of them are, but I think in this particular scenarios, people are really just wanting some answers. They're not really being divisive. They're just kind of talking about what they have been through, if that makes any sense. Oh yeah, my daughter's. I don't know what she's gonna say, y'all. Cosmo, he says no boring means no conversation, no sense of humor, lack of spontaneity, and overly serious. Bingo. The average logical thinker, how you doing? And yeah, we got to be logical, Damon. And Don, he says some women are turned on by some of the strangest situations. You just made me think of a story when you told that story about the brother trying to get away. That was our brother Travis. He's on our Facebook. And Arniba, how are you doing this fine evening? Okay, so Deanna, what's on your mind?
Hello. How
Hi,
are you?
I'm well.
Why
How
I say
about
how are
yourself?
you like you weren't in the other room?
Right, long time no see.
I haven't seen you in forever. I just wanted to come and give my city girl opinion. Um, Boring might be the wrong word, but some of these men's out here who would be probably y'all sons, they're they're weird. Like, and I'm not saying that in a mean way or like, oh, F men. No, they're like weird. I think I told you on here once, I went on a date with this guy out here, which is why this is one of the reasons why I don't date Houston men. I went on a date with this man out here and he invited me out. We go out the whole date, like 2.5 hours. He does not speak to me at all. I think he asked me like Do you want a bowl? Yeah. Do you want something to drink? Yeah. Do you want to play pool? Sure. Like we're at an arcade. You want to? I have game credit. We can play some games. And like the whole time he did not talk to me at all. And then I was like, okay, well I'm gonna go. We walk outside and he was like, oh, this was cool. Maybe next time you can come to my house. Sir, I don't know you. You haven't even given me your last name, nothing about you. Like, I don't even know if this is really your name. You've said zero to me for me to want to go to your house at all. I wasn't going to, but I was like, this is not going to work right away.
So let me ask you this. Um, well, it's a couple of things. How long had y'all been talking before you agreed to meet him at the bowling alley?
Like 2 weeks.
So 2 weeks. And in that 2 weeks, what was your conversation like?
It was very like, okay, you know how I've been talking about that man that I don't be saying his name because he, um, how every time he texts me, it's always the same three questions over and over and over. Hey, how are you? I'm well. How are you? I'm good. What are you doing? And then I tell him, he's like, oh, okay, cool. And then he disappears. And the next day, hey, it's like we're in a time loop that's just going around and round. So our conversation was a little bit like that. There was a little more because I was like, okay, he's not a weirdo. We're meeting in a public setting. This is when I was in my give love a chance phase. Now, no. But then, yes.
So on the phone, or so how did y'all communicate for that 2 weeks? Was it text messaging,
I'm a
verbal? Like,
millennial. You know it was text messages.
okay. And so what was the conversation like? I mean, did you get an inkling that he would be more exciting on text messages versus in person?
See, and this is where I'm gonna call you out because I told you that man was boring, and you told me give him like because you know you always be against me. It's always I'm wrong and the man is right. So you was like give him a chance, see him live, and I seen him live, and he proved my point.
Right. But I'm saying, what was your conversation like when y'all were on the phone?
It was very casual. I wasn't like I was going into the date like okay, he's not he's not giving me weird vibes. He seems very nice. Like I'll go and see, what's I got to put. Because my thing is, and we talk about this all the time. I fully believe that men's profiles, like dating profiles, do not do them justice. I'm gonna start me a business for $10. I will elevate your dating service, and you will. If you want all the hoes, I will get those for you. If you want a nice woman, I'll get that for you because as a woman, I know what we want to see. You putting out what you guys want to see. So when I seen his profile, I was like, it's giving, but there could be something here. Let me see him in person. Not like he was ugly. He was never that. That wasn't an issue. But I was like, let me see his personality live and not over text message to see if there's something more here. I didn't go into the date thinking he was boring. I just thought maybe some people you got to experience live.
So do you think if y'all would have had a verbal communication, you maybe would have read that a little better opposed to texting?
You know what? Yes. And you know that I will accept that, but you can't fault me. I was raised in a
I'm
generation
not
to where we don't believe in phone calls.
right. I'm not faulting you. I'm just saying because I understand that y'all.
I get anxiety trying to call the doctor.
But I'm saying I'm not faulting you because I know that's y'all form of communication is texting. Which is why I also tell like a lot of men I know, or not a lot, but a lot of men that I know, I guess, they date younger women, and sometimes they get mad because the younger women want to text. Is like, but that's what their generation does. That's their form of communication is texting. Now in 1920, when you was rolling around, y'all strung two cans together, and that's how y'all communicated. But it's a time warp, and so you're mad at this woman because all she wants to do is text. But that's what's natural to her, opposed to hey, did you put your Ben Gay on today?
I'm not gonna lie, I've tried the phone. Well, for us, it's FaceTime. But I've tried the FaceTime, the phone conversation route too, and it's like pulling teeth. Like
Yeah, and then and Doe makes a good point. Says that sounds dangerous to meet a stranger like that over texting. Is that something that's normal for y'all generation? And I know you met in a very public setting.
Oh, very. Yeah. I usually don't want to jump on the phone verbally or FaceTime with someone until I, you know, got to know you in like a couple of days. So like if I ain't on dating apps no more like that. I just like to look at the men's. But when I was on there, when I was on there, if I matched with someone, I need to talk to you for like a day or two. And then if they want to talk on the phone, I'm not gonna be like, no. But I'm definitely not gonna push for it on my own.
Got it. Um, so what happened after the date? You said
I unmatched with him when I got in the car.
just ghosted him.
I mean, he ghosted me to my face the whole day. What?
Black
Mom,
America
I'm
say he
not
can tell
being
you what the
funny. He
problem
did
is.
not ask me anything. Like, it was so I side eyed him so hard when he said, next time we can do this at my house.
Yeah. So you never got that hint or idea that that's what he wanted in the long run, or do you think that's what he wanted in
No.
the long
And
run?
that's the thing. I'm not saying that he was and that's the thing. When I say that these men are like this, I'm not saying they're bad people or they're anything. I genuinely think he was a nice guy or whatever. I just think that he was going through the motions of I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna go on the date, whatever, and then I'm gonna get you to my house. And
You
it's like
know, and
I'm a very not mental, I'm not crazy. I'm a very intellectually based person in the sense of I love information. So when I'm getting to know somebody, I want to know the stupid stuff about you. I'm going to ask you the most ridiculous questions because it's going to tell me about your personality. It's going to tell me about your character. I want to know the things you like, what you're into, what you could put me on to. And it's like I wasn't getting none of that.
so it just wasn't a match.
No, it wasn't.
And that's okay. That's okay that it wasn't a match. Um and I will say, a lot of people, especially nowadays, say it's really hard to date. Would you say that's true?
No, it's hard. I tell you once a week. I don't remember the name now. Like a romantic. I don't think it's in the. I don't care for it.
I would say don't give up.
I just
You never know.
it's what I mean. I'm chilling. I
Mm.
don't know, but I will say that once I was talking to this man and we had matched on one of the maps. And so I was trying to get to know him and I was like, and that's the other thing. I always feel like I'm doing all the heavy lifting, which if anybody knows me or has had like a real conversation with me, that's like a issue with me in and of itself. Like I won't say it's an insecurity because I'm secure in the fact that I need people to bring the work that I'm giving. I need them to relay the same energy. But I was talking to this man and I was just like pulling information out of him. And it was like one worded answers, short stuff. And I was like, okay, I ain't about to be here for long. On my key sweat, I ain't about to be here for long. Uh, so I was like, for funsies, we love a girl in STEM. Let's throw some, things out there. So I asked him, it wasn't even a crazy question, but it was very sexually based. Um, what did I ask him? I think I asked him something stupid like, "Oh, so what's your favorite sexual position?" This man, his conversation was paragraphs and oh, I like the and and then he was asking me questions, and I was like, "That's crazy." When I was just asking you very neutral based questions, you couldn't be bothered. But now I threw out a stupid ass question about sex, and you're about to grab me through the phone. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. I I ain't been out there, so I really can't tell y'all. I'm more of the the old school type of person, in the grocery store. Hey, whatever. How you doing? Tomatoes are nice today, aren't they? It's funny because my daughter, when we're out, um, and I'm not doing anything, and a man will say something to me, he'll talk to me, and she's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "I didn't do anything. I literally just walked in the store, picked up a pineapple or whatever." Unless a pineapple means something, I don't know. So I'm used to the old school way. I have heard a lot of people say that it's rough to date nowadays. It's kind of like a gamble. I saw somebody yesterday say there's pee in the dating pool.
No, there's more than pee. There's pee, food, there's everything. Cement, there's everything. There's
Which
all
is why I
kinds
don't
of
get in
toxins
pools.
in there.
Yeah, I don't get in pools, and that's probably why. So Frank says, "Well, you brought up sex, so you piqued his interest. So that's what he was interested in. I'm imagining."
Yes, he was a completely different person once that was asked.
Well, you got anything else to say?
Let me think really hard. Let me think really hard. Here's the issue. Because I seen Black America was trying me in the comments. I seen it. He said I was the problem. And you know what? For some people, that may be true. But I don't listen. I don't ask for much when it comes to my expectations. I won't even call them that. Because I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm looking for a man who's loyal, that's that should be off tops. If I'm telling you I want to be in a monogamous relationship, loyalty is kind of a given. The number one, which this might be a the bars in hell type thing, but the number one thing I always ask for is just a person that I'm not gonna feel like if I marry this person, we're just in a house living two different lives. I'm cooking you dinner, I'm doing all this stuff, and you're just like, I could care less if you're here or not. Thanks. Are you bending over today? Thanks. Like, dang. I just want somebody who's really gonna be like, you invested in our relationship.
What do you think it is? If what do you think it's something going on the men your age, or like what do you think it is? Why do you think there's such a disconnect? I would say too. I think you guys are dealing with a different entity of relationship, especially with the for one, all the information that's on social media, and just because it's information does not mean that it's good information. There's actually a lot of misinformation on the internet. So do you think maybe that has something to do with it? Because you got all these gurus on the internet giving all this information, and I don't know.
You know what? I think. I don't know. I think there is something in the water or something in the interwebs, definitely. Because I will say this. I was in a relationship once before social media really, really popped off, like high school when you had to be sitting at a computer to do anything on Facebook, MySpace, Twitter. And that man was a demon. Don't get me wrong. That man was a real whore. However, he worked for it. He was, not even like, how they say like the world's most interesting man? He was a 18-year-old version of that. And I feel like social media just is like, you know how they say you shoot 100 shots, so two may go in.
Right.
I feel like that's what dating is now with men. Like, I'm gonna shoot a bunch of shots. If I get a halfway reply, I'm gonna go with that. I'm not really invested in being tied down to any of these people, which is fine, but it's like, just say that.
How old are you, if you don't mind the question?
I'm 25. I'm 31.
Hey Michi, BFF. It says, sounds like I will find myself something safe to do. Wait for the Boaz, don't give up. Yes, and my BFF has been married and in a relationship almost 30 years now, Michi. So, woo, child, you're one of the lucky ones out there in the streets. Yes, indeed. course, Boaz is supposed to be, a really good man, but where them Boaz is at? uh, so let's see here. So, okay, so she's 31, and I'm gonna get back into the comment section. Arneva says the guy just don't know how to talk to women. That might be true. And I think too, because back in the day, I used to tell, and my brother's actually going to come up here. I used to talk to my nephews, and I would joke with them, but I was serious. I was like, man, when I was coming up, there was like real love songs, right? It taught you how to talk to women, and ooh, baby, baby, and all that. I said, but the music y'all got now, let's get to it. Now, of course, we had music like that then, but it was a little bit more okay. You want some wine? How about a little candlelight? Now it was like,
Can I say something also?
sure.
I don't know why I keep reading these dang comments. Knowing I'm sensitive, I be ready to fight everybody all the
What they
time.
say about the comment section.
What you call it? What was I about to say? Who was somebody said? Oh, wait, what did Walter say?
And he didn't say anything yet. I put him on mute.
Oh,
I'm here to say what's up to my girl Tasha.
Hey, Tasha.
Y'all that don't think I like black women, I do. Nah.
No, we don't.
period.
Girl, tell the truth. Shame the devil.
I love the comments. Oh wait, no, they're back. What you call it? Facts, not feelings. He said that he thinks that I'm the problem. I guarantee if I put my phone number in this chat and I had a conversation with him, it'd be exactly the same.
Okay.
It'd be exactly the same.
I see y'all up in here talking about some Teddy Pendergrass. And you know what's so funny? I was thinking the same exact thing. Turn off the lights. Light a candle. And then bam, 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 bam. I'm just playing. Let me stop. Walter, how much of the conversation have you heard?
Just the end, the freaky Teddy Pendergrass stuff.
Oh, Lord. Well, Deanna's, having a somewhat of a quandary with dating in the dating field. Basically, saying there's some men are a little on the boring side, not very conversational.
I just agreed with your what you call it.
What?
Your email.
I got you. Yeah.
I mean, men don't have an incentive. They don't need to talk anymore. The girls just giving up the booty. They don't need to speak. I mean,
But you know what? I believe that is true, but I also believe that they do that because they feel like if they don't, they're going to be lonely and by themselves. So they're like, this is what the men want. Maybe if I do it enough, one will be like, you know what? I'm going to stick around.
There's some good men out there.
I believe you.
You guys just need to go in the same direction. Like I was listening to, oh man, who was this? Some brother, it's a podcast that I follow, and he was talking about the brothers and the blue collar brothers, the brothers with trades. So actually, those are going to be the safest jobs, by the way, when AI takes over. Your plumbers, electricians, those are the guys that are going to have the safest jobs. But those guys, I'm sorry?
I said, I believe you.
Yeah, sometimes those guys want to come home. So as a woman or as a partner, you can just push the conversation toward, hey, we made this much. What can we do with this to start building our future? Because the more you start, you never get bored of talking about your money and your future. You never get bored of that. I don't care how much you don't love, because you fall out of love. You just, oh, baby, boom, boom. You have sex a couple times, and that stuff is over. Not over, but but if you have something to work on, to me, that is sexier. I would rather be, let me jump into my Kevin Samuels moment.
Oh, Lord.
I'd rather be with an average at best and have some rental property than be with a 10 and have nothing. Because when you close your eyes, everybody looks the same. And sooner or later, you want to be able to take a break. And so I think a lot of guys, as you get older, they're going there. But they can't compete with the Ferraris and all the stuff you see. Like, the girl I'm seeing, in this day, I was using that word lightly. We watched this movie called 365. Okay, so Deanna's laughing already.
What is that?
Netflix porno, essentially. Not, it's not, but that's essentially how they wrote it. It's zero storyline.
That shit is all porno from the Middle East, some Turkish movie. He's on the private jet. The the stewardess, the opening scene, he's like walk back and zip his pants. She's like, oh. And I'm like, what the? That's the whole movie. I don't get a movie where it's wild and crazy. He kidnapped this chick and she ended up falling in love with him. He tossing her all around and making her watch other girls suck his thing. And it's crazy. I watched this movie in horror.
And they gave them 4 movies.
And I can't watch the other ones. I started to watch part 2 and it was just like, my God.
I unfortunately seen them, so you don't have to. The first one was probably the best storyline. The other ones, it's like, what are we looking at? Why?
It was nasty porn. And the reason they got 4 is because women identify with being choked. And I get it. Sometimes that's cool to be choked, I guess. I ain't never been choked. But damn. And I think men are seeing that and goes, one, I'm never gonna be that. I don't have enough energy to sleep, to hit it from the back for an hour and turn around and choke the shit out of her. It takes too much time. I gotta work tomorrow. And we don't want to be with a woman like that. And so the girl I'm seeing was like, oh, I want you to do that to me. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that to you. It's gonna be the last day you see me. I promise you. I'm a gentleman. I'll choke you sometimes, but like, damn, I don't
Yeah,
want to
see,
be with
and
a
that's
correct.
not. I don't think that's what me or that person who wrote the email are saying when we say the men is boring. Not that's deviant. Not that.
That's a little too much excitement.
You have to watch the movie. It's truly
I'm
like
good.
The
who
movie
thought of
is
this?
shocking. Deanna's too young for it. The shit had me. I was watching the movie and like, whoa.
I went into it with no context based off of a TikTok review.
I felt like if I was on Pornhub, it would have been calmer. The movie is that
You heard it here first. I think that Netflix put those movies out because they're trying to get into that industry.
they're on their way. But that movie was straight porn. But the point I'm making is guys are seeing that. And when you look at women on the internet, that's what you see. I follow a friend of mine. She broke up with her dude. Nice chick, real down to earth. Now she got her breast out, her booty pointed out. She's like, he ain't crap. I'm starting over. I was like, unless you start in the whole house, you need to put some clothes on.
Wow.
And so I think men are dealing with that. One, we're not going to compare to the stuff you see on TV. I promise you. Most guys ain't trying to sleep with their wife like that every night. Maybe some people have that intimacy. But like sometimes we just want to say, hey, babe, you know what? I want to go to work, come home, make dinner, and let's talk about our future. And I'm seeing this chick. And like last night I made dinner and she didn't get home till like 9 o'clock. Her and her daughter, she got her nails done, and then her friend invited her out to eat. So they went to go eat. She's like, oh, I forgot you were making dinner. I said, you got one more time for that to happen. I promise. Matter of fact, the reason I'm sitting in my Ontario apartment, because I've been staying in her house 99% of the times. The reason I'm staying here, because I was like, you know what? I need to draw a line in the sand. You got a good dude that's bringing home the cash and making dinner and rubbing you down. Oh, shit. Whoa. I know there's a whole lot of women out there lined up for a brother like that. But it ain't exciting for your dude to come home with the cash and make dinner and have the house calm, fireplace lit when you get home. I don't think women are used to that. They want to be choked. And I don't think most guys they just want to have a normal life. That's why dudes get home, they make some money, and let me shut up. I'm sounding like Black America. It's boring, but it's what I think most guys want.
Okay, but I'm just asking questions. How old is she?
40,
How old are you?
which is damn near too old for me. 54.
Oh,
I wake up before she do. I go to bed after her, and that's just every woman I've ever dated. I just have more energy than them, and maybe that's just me. But I'm
um,
saying guys don't have. We have so many things to deal with. We got to make money. We got to be this. We got to be fit. We got to all these things we got to do, and every woman is different. And then you date a chick, and I had this happen to me. She's like, you know what I really would like if you would have done this. And so me, I was just thinking, okay, how can I get her out of my car in a hurry? And two, what about the 200 other things that I do to even get us in the car going to the spot? And so I think women have to like start cutting your friends off and cutting some of this crap off. Like I told the girl I'm seeing, I'm like, I don't want to see you in all that makeup. You look foolish. You look like Homie the Clown. Who you putting the makeup on? You got a man that's like, I see you butt naked with no makeup almost every day. Matter of fact, the best time for a man, I'm just keeping it real, Black America back me up, is when you wake up, but they call it morning wood for a reason. You don't have all makeup and all that stuff. That's when I have the most energy. That's when I can do what I need to do and send you to work in a happy state. You don't have on makeup or none of that other stuff. All that other stuff is a waste. I'm not saying you don't have to look cute, but like men are simple. They want food, affection, and recognition. That's it, in my opinion. That's what I want.
Black America is okay. And Frank, you say you agree. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you're somewhere in your mid 50s almost, and
I'm 40.
she's 40, so that's where the gap is right there.
I mean,
He,
it ain't just 40. I dated a girl before her that was 40, and she was completely the opposite. So, and I know it's just this instance, and I'm trying to date more to the loose, more modern American woman. Um, I'm not having a good time with it. So who knows? After this, I may end up. I don't know. I'm gonna shut my mouth so I don't get in trouble.
yeah,
But
because she might be watching.
this ain't nothing I ain't said before.
Well, thank God nobody knows your girlfriend.
Quite a few people know her.
I know her.
Well, you met her,
Yeah,
but
met her.
right. So what I'm saying is, men, we these days we have a lot of stuff to deal with, and with men, we're the ones that have to put in the work. We're the ones that have to get the erection. We're the ones we have to do most of the work. If you're a woman, and if you want to have sex, all you need is some lubricant and just to lay there, which is probably why he ain't hard in the first place because you just laying there. That's just a tip. So it's men, we have to do the work. So maybe women, you guys could kind of loosen up a little bit. Yeah, the dude is boring because maybe that's because he's taking care of his business. You know,
oh,
you.
can I add this?
I'm a freak, so stop it. You can be a freak. Just, I mean, ladies, I'm gonna give you a tip. If you
I
meet a guy
don't
and you
talk
come
to
up with some wild stuff,
feminists.
he probably gonna be looking away.
Wait, put it back, mom. I don't talk to.
Oh, okay, here's a guy. Mm,
Okay. I would like to add this though. Um, as a person who's known you my whole life, I don't think you're a boring person, Walter.
oh, I'm not. Oh, shit. I didn't say I was. I'm talking to the average
But so
man.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not a boring person, which is probably how you were. I mean, I'm sure there was other reasons why you were able to bag a 40-year-old, but you're not a boring person. You know, you're funny. Walter will talk to you for hours about the thousand places he's been. And one time I was in Amsterdam and he knows a bunch of stuff. You know, you could tell people about thousands of things. You have interest in even like outside of money. Like you have a war chest of things and knowledge that you can talk about. Most of these people don't even have that. And maybe to me, that's like a standard of like, oh, this is what I look for because I wasn't raised around men who did not talk to me. My dad talked to me like a regular person engaging. It wasn't like, oh, go sit down and be quiet. Like he talked to me, he taught me, you know, Jeremiah constantly talked to me, engaged with me as another person, not a, I won't say equal because that's obviously my uncle, but he talked to me at a level that wasn't like you're a child or you're a woman, sit there and be quiet. And I mean, you don't do that either. So it's
Yeah,
like no man in our family or in my life talks just at me or in a way that's just like you're just here as a woman, be quiet. Like
I hear you, but for the average man, doesn't have that. And then a couple things. I'm going to go a couple comments back.
I know which one you want to go to.
You talking about the Viagra comment? First of all, I, there's sometimes I've never taken Viagra. I can promise you, but there's sometimes I could have needed it. But I just went funny. I just went to a plant-based diet. Trust me, Viagra is off the table. I'm gonna leave it at that. And I was gonna say, I can send you my address. And we can... I'm just kidding. That was inappropriate. But no, I don't know why you. It's funny since you brought up Viagra. I'm gonna talk about it. Whew, I'm gonna get in trouble for them. I'm going to hell for this, but I'm gonna say it.
Think 5 times before you speak.
No, I thought about it because I think about it every day. Most men won't tell you this. If you go to an Asian massage parlor, I guarantee you, most of the men in there have zero problem getting an erection. You know what it is, ladies? And I'm just gonna put it out there. Is it me? Yes. Most of the time, it is you. And I'm speaking for a friend. I know for a fact when you go to one of those places, there's things that they do. Rub the inner thighs, slow down, click heels. They got the perfume on. Slow it down. Some of y'all be like, let's just get it. I'm tired.
How you speaking for a friend and you know it's a fact?
I can't confirm or deny that I've ever been in a situation like that. But sometimes you just have to slow it down. And I think women, you guys need to turn off those Instagram chicks. Because
women,
I mean, no, what I'm saying, like, because it's women, you guys have power over it. We don't have power over what a girl puts on Instagram. That's you guys doing that. If women would say, you know what, I'm gonna cover myself up. You ain't gonna get to see the breasts all day. Just out there, oh, I lost some weight. Look at my new body. You look like a hoe. Get that picture down. All they doing is rubbing lotion on themselves, and they're not gonna marry you. And to the second comment, men have a zero, what's the word I'm looking for? Incentive to marry a woman in 2024. There's no reason to marry a woman. One, when you leave, she take half, and there's nothing for a man to. There's no reason for us to be married anymore. And if you can think of one, put it on the screen, and we can go there. And then if you meet a woman that has kids, you don't have power over them either. So it's like, damn, you have kids as a man, I'm talking about as a man in America, and then they go with the woman most of the time, and you got to fight your whole life to even spend time with them, assuming, and the mom is acting a fool. So where's our incentive? When I have hundreds of women that I can date and that'll start a business with me, get together and move the ball without tying up being connected to you by a piece of paper. So that's all I'm saying. My girl Tasha, she's my homegirl. Me and her don't sleep together. She's helping me with some other stuff. But like, she's talking about men and trying to find a husband. She's really attractive, but she's like, it's hard out here for a girl.
I know a lot of people are gonna think about what you said. It's no incentive for a man to be married anymore these days. But I would say there's a lot of women out there who aren't going to do that to a man.
Do what?
I'm assuming the incentive is because maybe she's going to, take him to the cleaners financially. As you said, issues with the child, visitations, and, things like that.
I mean, like in my current situation, so the girl I'm dating has a young kid, and I said one thing I would never do is date a woman with a kid under 18. I just held to the nah, and I'm doing it. And it's who I'm gonna tell you, praise God, Allah, Jesus, everything you believe in, God of the universe, it is nuts to me. So I'm like, I'm gonna use my skills and I'm gonna mold this kid and help this kid do homework, get dressed. I'm like, nutrition. She's like, Walter, does this make me fat? Can I eat this? Is this healthy? She's like, I don't want to go to McDonald's ever again. Like, so I'm doing all that. But at the end of the day, if the relationship ends, and historically, based on history, it probably will. What do I walk away with that? What do I walk away with? Zero. I put all that energy into somebody and I get nothing to show for it. But time I could have been doing something else for myself.
Let me ask you this: what's changed? Because men would get married back in the day. What's changed? Are men nowadays basing themselves not wanting to get married off of history, or is something new in the water, the air? Like, what's changed?
Women expect too much from men. They want, like the girl I used to date used to always say to me, Walter, get a clue. I'm like, I don't want a clue. Tell me what it is you want me to do. What it is that you would want. Because if I'm doing, and I mean, like, you know what I'm saying. I go out of my way to help the woman I'm with enjoy her life. But when you tell me get a clue, all I can think of is go make money, secure the house. I like to eat. I like to cook. So the girl I'm with, she's cooked like 4 times in a year that we've been together. She's like, you never let me in the kitchen. I'm like, one, I don't trust you. The shit you put in the food until you get to the point where we can eat to live, I'm gonna run this. And I'm the man. It's my job to make sure everyone in this house is safe mentally and spiritually and physically. So that's my job. So trying to do all those things, and then at the end of the day, you're like, get a clue. We don't understand. At least I don't understand that to this day. I just tell me what to do. Like one day, like my ex, one day she'd be all interested and wanting to be hot and bothered, and another day she wanted nothing to do with it. I was like, what would be really cool is if you just like put a sign on the door or hang like some pink panties on the door that day that you feel like today could be the day you get wound up. Because then I'll go all out, I'll cook more, I'll be more romantic. But the days that you're not interested and ending this with a sexual escapade, then I'll make chicken nuggets. And that would make my job easier. Because the only reason I'm going all out and making this dinner and treating you this way is so I can get something in return. And any man that tells you he's not doing that, he is lying to you.
And Travis says, awesome job, Walter. Working to improve the life of your girlfriend's daughter. The reward is positive. The positive impact you express. And Cosmo wants to know, why are you with somebody you don't trust enough to cook for you? What's that about?
I don't trust anyone to cook for me. I go to restaurants and I'm like, this is killing. We are killing ourselves, but we need to have fun.
Walter is a very bougie eater.
It's not bougie.
There's nothing wrong with it, though. Walter, he's very finicky about where he eats.
No, eating with Walter is an experience.
Well,
I want to know experience.
I want to know where it came from. Where did the food come from? Is it grass fed? Was it eating soy? Was it eating corn? Like, was it fish in the ocean? Like, where did it come from? That stuff matters. Like, CR, my daughter-in-law, CR, gave me this app called Yucca. It's got a carrot on it. You can scan everything you touch, from deodorants to food. You can scan everything. It'll give you 0 to 100, how many chemicals are in it, tell you what chemicals are in it, and it'll give you an alternative of what you can do instead.
I need that app. I need that app. What is it called?
It's called Yucca. And let me tell you, I went through this house in our house in OC, and I got rid of everything. Because you eat to live, but then you spray something on yourself that does even more damage.
Not me. Not Deanna would tell y'all, I don't put chemicals on myself. Everything I put on, as far as my hair, shampoo, oils, oils on my skin, deodorant. Because I agree with you. Why are you going to be selective about what you put in your body and not what you're putting on your body? So I agree with you.
So there's a lot of stuff. The app, it looks, I'm telling you guys, the app, it looks like this. It's called Yucca. It's a little carrot. I'll shrink it down. And then you literally, it's got a carrot on, and you can, it's a free app, and you can pay $15 a year for stuff that's not on the app. And then what happens is you basically can scan anything. Here's what it looks like. That's the little app right there. Okay, I gotta call her back. So that's the app right there. That's what it looks like.
I spelled it wrong. Okay.
YUKA. You download that app and you start scanning. You go to the grocery store and you scan it. You scan that. It tells you all the chemicals that are in it, the fat, the sugar, this everything, and it gives you all the good stuff, and then it gives you an alternative of what you could take. So that app alone. So for instance, like when I say I don't trust her in the kitchen, when I cook, I use things that have ones like cinnamon. I'll use a turmeric or a garlic. I don't buy an Old Spice that has 20 ingredients in it, or things you buy from the store and it's got 20 ingredients in it. That's too much. If you're going to eat something, it needs to have one ingredient. If you're going to drink coconut milk, it needs to have coconut milk. So I used to buy this coconut milk from Costco Whole Foods, and then I scanned it with this app, and it was like 10 out of 100. Poor, run away, drop the carton. And I used to drink that thinking, oh, this is healthy. So then it gave me an alternative that I walked down the aisle and I found this one that was like 80 out of 100. I picked up the ingredients. It said coconut milk, water. That was it. The other one had this acid, gum, whatever the gum is, all these things. This other one was just like coconut milk, but the one that's just natural is going to last 2 or 3 days, and the other one with the gum in it is going to last 6 months.
Absolutely. So, and Stephen says, and hello, Thunder, how you doing? He says, Walter, I do most of the cooking because I don't trust my rib, his wife, to cook. And I like all different types of foods except anything pork. Common Man says, when I go to a restaurant, I always check the bathroom. Because if the bathroom is filthy, so is the kitchen. It never fails. You're absolutely 100% right. Absolutely.
So
Corley says, what's the brand? Walter,
brand of what? I mean, this is the app I was talking about, but you can scan anything that you want to eat. Like you can scan it, and then it will tell you what or you can even type it in, and it'll tell you.
I want to go back to this comment here. It says, and if she looks one way while you're dating, then after marriage she looks totally different. I felt I've been bamboozled.
100%
realistic though. What is realistic?
Listen, I tell women all the time. Matter of fact, the girl that just called me, her husband left her for a younger, skinnier chick. And I said, listen, let me be upfront with you. I said, show me your wedding photo. That's you, that's him. He's 160 pounds, you 110. I said, what's he weigh right now? And it's funny, I went to court with this woman because I'm helping her with some stuff. He's 160. She 160. I said, in my opinion, you broke the vow.
Wait a minute now. How much did she weigh when they got married?
Like 110 or something. Her picture. Now, I know you gain weight as you get older. I know that you do, because we all I weigh what I weighed in high school. That's because I'm going through all kinds of stuff. But I said to her, you guys think better or worse is a real thing. It's not. If you're 4'6" and 180, chances are she's not going to want to be with you. It's just the way the world works. Like that's the equivalent of a man that you met that was doing well financially, and he's sitting on the couch all of a sudden and you working around the clock. That's the equivalent to us. I mean, and as men get older, I could be 80 years old, pull up to Newport Beach in my boat, my yacht, my 70-foot boat, park next to my Ferrari, and I would have a 30-year-old girl get on my boat and out of my car. And it's all day, every day. Robert De Niro's damn near 80. Al Pacino's 95. And he got a 6-month-old or something crazy. The point I'm making is for men, as we get older, we get better. And we have the one thing that women don't have is the ability to earn money and build wealth and then use that to attract. Because as a woman, I don't care how rich you are, if you are fat and stinky, you're going to have trouble meeting somebody. And if you do, he's going to have to explain himself.
Fat, stanky.
I've had multiple women invite me to move with them, to move to Portugal, Arizona, to go live with them. You should come stay with me. Everything's taken care of. And I'm like, I can't bring myself to do it.
So this statement here, if it wasn't love, then if it was only for looks.
No, I love the way you look. I loved you back then, but love fades in like 6 weeks. I love you. Not the love I'm talking about, like, oh, I can't go without her. Versus to, we are one person, and I love what we're doing together. I do love her. I care about her, but that's mainly because of the way that we act with each other and the things that we're doing together.
So
not she just sexy. That shit fades.
So with this like logic though, you're not getting married though, right?
Oh no, I'm never getting married again. I put it out in the universe. There's no incentive for me to get married. All I want to do is be with a woman and build our future and go somewhere and be safe and enjoy ourselves. We can drink wine in Spain, and we can take the kids or the grandkids somewhere. Like, we don't need a wedding certificate for that. Most men are thinking that way. And if that's the case, how come, when's the last time you went to a wedding?
It's funny because me and Deanna were just talking about that. I said, I'm trying to think the last time I went to a wedding. When did I say, Deanna, the last time I went to a wedding?
You said it was a vow
I think it
renewal.
was Romeo and Dicey. Their vow renewal.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we went to Phil's.
Yeah, and we went to another one, but also Khalid and Stella. That was some years ago.
Yeah,
and
they got
before that it was it was somebody else. Mm-hmm.
So, and it don't have to be. It don't. This shit is hilarious. I'm gonna show you this. I shouldn't. Look at this. Some girl just sent me this, and you guys don't know her. I'm gonna do it from afar. This is my homegirl. Just sent me this just now. This picture. She at work. This is
Wait a minute now. What?
I don't want to get in trouble, but
yeah,
somebody just sent me that shit. My text. I'm like, I'm not even thinking about this chick. So she's not like, oh, I had a productive day. She's like, look at my dress and the filter, because that ain't her. That's what men, but that stimulates. I'm like, oh, she look hot in that. I want to hit it. But then after I come to my senses, I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I got stuff I need to be doing.
What do you say? There's a few women on here saying that you're very shallow.
That's fine. I'm not dating them. And Bobby Price is the man.
I like Bobby Price.
Yeah, Bobby Price.
On my hustle.
He is the man. Matter of fact, I watch his stuff every day. Bobby Price is the business.
Yeah, he's good.
He's the reason I decided to go plant-based, believe it or not.
Me too. And then I fell off. But now you're going to inspire me to go plant-based again. Because I told Deanna, I said, when Walter goes plant-based, I said, then I'll go plant-based. Remember I said that not too long ago?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not here to tell people plant-based, but like, I can tell you, that is a good picture, but I can tell you, I went plant-based and I woke up, ladies. This is adult conversation.
But keep it clean now. Keep it clean.
I woke up like, whoa, this is working. And so I've been plant-based, and I tell you, my girl, she got to get out of bed in a hurry. It just being plant. And I heard Bobby Price say that. Men, if you're worried about stiffness and energy, go plant-based. And I've heard other guys say this, but it wasn't until I listened to him, I was like, oh, okay. It makes sense. Now back to the shallow. I don't know what makes me shallow. You guys really think that men aren't thinking like, this woman has gained 48 million pounds and somehow men are based on physical attraction like women are based on security. Period. If that was the case, how come so many men leave their partners for younger women. Or in the case of TD Jakes, he left his woman for Puffy. Whatever. Is Puffy younger?
Allegedly now. Allegedly.
Whatever. Come on now. I'm just having a good time. I can't speak on that. Now, ladies, and I'm giving you advice. The other thing that you can do is if you tie into your man, you guys are doing something together, then it makes you more attractive. It just does. I had a girl that wanted to date me, and I went to her house, and she had 100 pair of shoes and 20 luxury purses. And I said, well, how much you have in your 401k? How much you have in your investments? Oh, I haven't got around to that yet. I have not seen her since. Because even wild sex with baby oil on the floor, it's a waste of my life to get up the next morning and go, that was a complete waste of time. And I can't even tell nobody about it.
What I want to do, I want to, let's see, we got a couple more minutes to be here. I want to put the link in the comment section for anybody who has an opinion different from Walter. It could be a man or a woman. Okay. Anybody else? Because I see a lot of people, disagreeing with what you're saying. I think it's mostly some of the women. So I'm going to put the link up here if you guys want to, come up here and, just express your opinion.
And are those women married? Are those women married? Are they in a happy relationship that they would take them and that dude and put on their profile pic? Are they in a happy relationship? And I'm not to speak all. I'm just telling you how the guys that I communicate with, how they think. It's exhausting trying to date the modern woman because there's so many things we need to do versus come home, get the money, be nice to you, rub you, sit on the, let's go somewhere, let's take a drive for the weekend. All that other stuff is too much for men. We have other things we need to deal with.
Can I say some things before you bring somebody on?
Sure.
Okay, first thing, so non sequitur. Somebody in the comments said that plant-based is very expensive. And for someone who was strictly vegan for 8 years, it's really not. I feel like now that I eat more meat and stuff, I spend more money now, or we spend more money now than before when you were buying like whole foods, non-processed stuff. If you're buying a bunch of fake sour creams and cheeses and fake meats, then yeah, I mean, Impossible Meat's $9 a thing, so that's gonna add up. But if you were to, instead of buying the $9 fake meat, you bought a 99-cent thing of walnuts that they have, or a thing of mushrooms, and made your meat that way, it'd be healthier and way cheaper. And you're not putting a whole bunch of unnecessary chemicals in your body for the sake of it being vegan or plant-based. My other
Plant-based
thing
is
is
cheaper,
too,
way
I
cheaper.
see there's like a lot of people in the comments hating on Walter. I will say, like, I don't care for the way like Walter's views on relationships, but he's being honest, he's being true to himself, and he's not being disrespectful to women. Like, he wasn't like, you hoes, shut up and sit down. Like, he's giving his honest opinion respectfully. So it's like you can't be mad at someone saying what they like nicely. Like some other people who come on here, they be saying their opinion very disrespectfully and very misogynistically.
I think we both know who we talk about. And you guys, by the way, being plant-based is cheaper. I can tell you why. One, plants are cheaper. Period. A steak, and most people, if you really sourced your food, like if you found out where your steak was coming from, you wouldn't eat it. And why people eat pork to this day, I have no idea why people still eat pork. And then you darken it and you barbecue it and you make it even worse. And my father taught me this when I was young. I taught my sister too. The worm or whatever it is that's in pig. And if you watch pigs, first of all, pigs don't sweat, so toxins don't leave the body. And they just roll in their own stuff. Man, I went to a pig farm and I was like, never again am I eating pork. Ooh, help me, Jesus. And then some of the other meats, like they feed these animals corn, which if you're eating corn, stop. Like this stuff is so GMO. Like, stop doing that. Like there's so many things you could eat, and you can go to farmers markets, or even like when you go to the grocery store, they have the organic foods and vegetables. If it has a 9 on it, it's a good chance that it's organic. If it has a 3 or 4, it's probably genetically modified. Those things helped me, and they're cheaper to go buy vegetables, and you don't have to spend all day in the store. You can just go in, grab, and you can do some cool stuff with mushrooms. And what I'll do once in a while, like if I do eat meat, like I'll do lamb that was grass fed, I'll take a rack and I'll eat it between 4 people. And my sister, my niece would tell you, I used to cut that in half and eat. Me and my girlfriend would sit right here and split a rack of lamb like it was no tomorrow. I don't do that anymore because I would wake up lethargic and I couldn't move. And I show wasn't trying to send her off to work in a happy state. I didn't have the energy.
Last week, and I put the link in. If and I comment, I understand. I know sometimes your connectivity is kind of wonky, but anybody else wants to come on, I'm going to put this. So you're on Facebook and you want to come on here, I actually can only, for where I am now, put the link on YouTube under the same name, Demetra K. I'm going to put it. Did I copy it? Let's see. I'm going to put it in here again. The link to join the conversation. Last week, my daughter, tell you, she thought I was nuts. Clear out the whole refrigerator, and it's 95% vegetables and some fruit. Don't eat a lot of fruit because I'm trying to stay away from the sugar as much, but I cleaned out the whole refrigerator, and that's predominantly what's in there now is vegetables. And it works out good because when you clean it out, you organize everything, you can see what you have in there, opposed to just stuffing your refrigerator to everything. And you're more strategic about what you're going to eat. You're like, okay, I'm gonna open it. I got to eat some vegetables today, right? Because that's what's in there. So that definitely helps cleaning out your refrigerator and getting it organized. And I've been, before I was vegan for 8 years myself, so I know how to do it. It's very simple. But I would say, though, that it is way cheaper to eat plant-based. But like my daughter said, when we first became vegan, there wasn't all these plant-based cheeses and meats and all that. Had to do it all from the ground up. So it was cheaper and healthier to be a vegan then. But now, you see a lot of really big vegans running around, is because and some of the food that they're making vegan, you really might as well eat regular food or meat, because it's, in a lot of cases, the vegan food is worse. Like the Beyond Meat is worse than regular meat.
It's much worse. And vegan, that's why I say plant-based, because vegans can do fried things. Oreos are vegan. They can do zucchinis and fry them. You guys, when you take food and you fry it, first of all, you kill it. And then plant-based is the best. Like, I can give you an idea. I learned, I used to eat tomatoes, put them on a salad, and eat them raw. It wasn't helping. So what I started doing is doing what the Italians do. I take boil water, put them in the water for 30 to 60 seconds, and then put them in cold water. The skin falls off. I cut them, take the seeds out, and I can eat tomatoes all day. And simple things like even a tomato, which gives you 20% of the lycopene raw, when you cook it, it gives you 80%. And then when you put olive oil on it, it gives you almost all of it. I learned that from Bobby Price. So forget meat versus plants. Just think about what you're doing to your body. When you do an Impossible Burger and it has 50 ingredients in it, your body doesn't recognize all those things. It recognizes, coconut or this or that. It doesn't recognize all those things. That's why you're not losing weight. That's why your health is not getting better. And I tell you, women, especially you have menopause and all these things that men don't have, periods, and Lord have mercy. If God came back and God was like, you're going to be a woman, I was like, put me back, please. I'll try it again later. You have so many things to deal with. By getting control of your diet, not only will that make you more even keel mentally, it'll make you better. It'll make you look better, feel better. And then your chances of attracting a man are way higher. That's just my opinion. Because the girl I'm dating now, she's lost some weight. And I said to her, baby, when is you losing weight going to stop being a topic? Don't you get tired of that shit? What if you just not hit the gym, just live a certain way? And then we could do something else. And she's down 7 or 8 pounds in the last week. From just Bobby. I sent everybody Bobby Price.
Oh, my bad.
You know what I'm saying? And plant-based is not expensive if you do it the right way. It's truly not. It's cheaper than medicine and Viagra. That's for sure.
Yeah, I actually had his book, but I gave it to somebody. Hopefully, they're reading it. Um, and Macy and Doty says I lost 65 pounds on plant based, but it is expensive. Yeah.
Wait,
Mhm.
a- ask. Well, I mean, I guess I could ask. Can you come on here and tell us what you buy and what you make? I am very curious to know.
Um,
And that's not
and
on no
no,
shaming. That's I just want to be helpful because I'm telling you, 8 years you learn a lot.
yeah. And though if you want to come on, see, if you want to, I'll send you a link if you want to. I'm gonna send it to you on Messenger. Uh, and I said put the link in YouTube if anybody wants to come on. You know, see, okay, so here we go. I sent it to you in case you want to come on. Though. Yeah. Anybody wants to come on and say something before we get out of here? We got about another 10 minutes or so. Did I do that? Oh, you're on mute.
If you like walnuts, what you would be better is like pistachio milk. You can make pistachio cheese. Pistachio out of the nuts are the healthiest, like walnuts, oats. Especially like if you eat oatmeal and oats, stop doing that. If you look at oat milk and if you do the research on oats, you'd be better doing like a pistachio, which is a lot better for you, and it helps fight illnesses and diseases. So there's a lot of things um, you can do to make life easier. I promise you. Like if you just, and you don't have to go plant based all the way, but like just try it. Maybe split it up during the week. I promise you, you'll feel better. And then alcohol too, it has a lot to do with it. I mean, when you drink, your liver goes, "Stir." I'm through burning fat. And another thing, if you want to wait, when you wake up in the morning, don't break your fast. If you do, don't do it with cream and sugar. I see people, oh, I'm fasting, but I'm having cream and sugar. No, you're not. You might as well have a chicken nugget sandwich. Don't break your fast. If you want to have coffee, do a splash of coconut milk. There's something called monk sugar, which doesn't have the effects of sugar and it doesn't spike your blood sugar. There's things like that you can do. Green tea, if you're gonna eat anything with sugar or food, if you drink green tea afterwards, what it does is it blocks the sugar from hitting your body or blocks the carbohydrates from converting the sugar. That's why Japanese people are so thin and they live to 100. It's the green tea, the walking, the purple yams, just things like that. And these people aren't out. They're not scientists. They're just doing some basic things.
Black America, how you doing today?
Oh Lord, let me turn it up.
Good afternoon. Hello to everybody in the chat. All you hateful women, trying to shame my brother from the keyboard. You just talked about that. I just want to thank you, Walter, for telling the truth, because these women don't understand a lot of times that their attractiveness level is what's going to get them a better man. You can, any woman can get a man, but it depends on how attractive you are as a woman. We don't care how smart you are. Gail King got a bunch of money. She can't keep a man. It matters how attractive you are as a woman. You can reel a man in with how attractive you are. We don't care how eloquently you talk or you walk or anything like that. So I just want to thank you for telling the truth, man. I appreciate that. This was the best show all year.
Well, we just getting started, brother.
Now,
No, because you have a lot of pushback, Miss D, and a lot of whataboutism when it comes, especially to Donovan. You be punking Donovan. It's like you guys are married, but you're not married, right? It's like you and him are married, but your brother give a shit. He says the truth and he says what he wants to say, regardless of how you think or feel about it. So I love it. It's good to hear it, and it's good, for even for the women in your group. And I know it's like older women and stuff over here, and it's a couple of, it might be a couple of guys in here too. It's good to have you hear it, and for these women to hear it, to let them know why they are not going to be able to obtain a decent man. Go for the high school janitor. If you're over 33, start looking at the high school janitor. If you're not a baddie and you're in your 30s, go for the high school janitor and try and make it work for you. It's over.
See, I didn't take it that far. Now, it's crazy what you're saying. A lot of people are saying that, but like, and when I say attractive, you don't have to be Lola Falana. Attractive, and based on like who I am, to me, I'm more attracted to a woman. Yes, she just things she could do to herself and the way she carries herself. But like us working on stuff together helps me be with you. My last girlfriend, women were like, "Oh, she's not that cute. She's not that cute." And I thought she was really cute, and I didn't really care what they thought. But like, we haven't spoken in a year, and we still have stuff together. And if she called me on the phone, was like, "Hey, we need to talk," I would pick up the phone. And who knows, she might do it for me. You know what I'm saying? We have stuff together right now.
I have a serious question for you, though, won't you?
Mm-hmm.
How many women actually can help a man do or achieve anything? You have that one, but how many women have done that and do that in the past?
I mean, they can. Like my last girlfriend, one thing she brought to the table was common sense, and she was clever. She could like book our trips, and she had a financial head on her. The thing that got us to even at Buffalo Wild Wings that night was she wanted to go over her investment portfolio. That's the reason we ended up sitting at a bar. One thing led to another. 9 years later, right? So that to me was attractive, because when you're on the move, like for Valentine's Day, I put on this gray suit, red tie, got out the car, walked to my girl's office, and I took her this Valentine's basket. Man, and I'll tell you, my God, the women were like, "Oh shit!" And I saw her boss was like, "Go ahead, girl, that's the one, that's the one." So they don't know me, but I think they just basically saw, I was making an effort. You know what I'm saying? I'm attractive, but I'm not like Aquaman and no shit like that. But men, we could bring stuff to the table. We could, bring finance, or we could, like me bringing her those flowers, or that stuff to her. I guarantee you, like, rose my status to the sky. And I was presentable. I was suited up. I walked in like, yo.
I understand that. What I'm asking you is, how many women, over or under 50%, are bringing those type of qualities to the table that men find attractive? Let's say it's a Lizzo. You know who Lizzo is? Let's say it's a Lizzo.
Not her.
Over or under, how many women are doing?
Hey,
How
can
many
I
women
just
are what?
let me interject here. Lizzo got a man, Gabourey Sidibe got a husband, and they getting ready to have twins.
Okay, that's a good point, and that's what I was saying earlier. Though you can have a man, Gabrielle and Lizzo and Adele, up until she lost all that weight, could get a man because they're successful. And the way the world is, men are now turning, and this I don't get me to the gender war stuff. But 50 years ago, I don't care how rich Lizzo was, if she walked in at 290 and was like, "This is my man. He's 95 pounds. He looked like what's the dude, Mr. Burns from The Simpsons." That was not acceptable. And that is the exception. Take Lizzo's money away. Actually, I should stop lying, because they have BBW conventions all over the place, and men love them some big. So maybe I stand corrected, because when I say I've been to a BBW convention, I was there with somebody, and man, I saw some good-looking
But
brothers
but
at the
but
BBW.
what kind?
So maybe
But
I'm
what?
wrong this whole hour. Shit, I stand corrected. I forgot about the BBW convention. Woo! And I like a thick girl. I ain't gonna lie. I just do you know you listen. I can roll with a thick girl, and I've done it. My sister's seen me with more than one. I ain't afraid of him. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I feel is crazy talking about where is that at? Where's the convention at?
Where's what?
Where's the convention at? The
Oh,
BBW convention.
Vegas. Oh man, if you Google, they got a nightclub in Vegas for BBWs. It's called. Oh man, that man, it was popping.
No, we do not.
I showed it to my girl because me and her were having a conversation about her fat friends, and they want to take her out to happy hour when I'm making dinner. I was like, well, if you want to be like them, keep going out with them. And then I showed her the BBW convention. I was like, there's room for people like y'all if this is what you want to do. That's how I found the BBW convention on YouTube. You Google BBW convention. So there are guys that like that.
Let me tell y'all something, okay? Y'all up here talking a bunch of stuff, okay? There's plenty of men that want them a big girl, okay? And ain't
I
nothing wrong
agree.
with a lot
What
of
kind
them.
of men? What kind of men are they? No. What kind of men?
One that really comes to mind.
Not Pierce Brosnan.
You read my mind. You read my mind. You 007 James Bond. He got a thick wife.
What are you talking about? I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Donovan.
Oh, Pierce Thomas Crown. No, listen.
Didn't
I
he
don't want to
play
sit here.
007?
Oh no, he was Bond, Thomas Crown.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan's my man. Listen, I'm just being funny. I don't knock a like Ashley Graham to me, like she can get the car. That's what I'm saying.
But why is she different than Lizzo?
She like the same size as Lizzo.
You saying
Probably
size as
bigger
Lizzo?
now.
Ashley Graham carries herself a different way. That's the difference. And Lizzo is round, where Ashley's got curves.
Tabria Majors. Tabria Majors is a big girl, but she is beautiful.
I don't know who that is.
She the same size as Lizzo. She a TikToker.
I think Lizzo, for me, she blew it with that whole picking her ass out at the Laker game. That's kind of when I fell off. Because, I mean, she's a boss. You know what I'm saying? And the way of the world, most people are just heavier. It's just what we eat. It's our lifestyle. It's just what we are. But you can carry yourself.
Yeah, she about shaped like Lizzo.
Do we not grow if we don't take L's?
No,
She did
Tabria
something
Majors is
and people
fine.
shamed her and she grew from it.
No. I get it. No. But I'm saying, but that's the stuff people, Tabria Majors, oh, she's fine.
She's the same size as Lizzo.
No, okay, Lizzo ain't this. No, stop it. This girl, her waist is smaller than everything else.
Walter
Have
be
y'all
telling the
seen Lizzo
truth.
lately? The
Man.
Ozempic been hitting.
Dude, if I wasn't in a relationship, she'll get it. We come to the barbecue.
Sure.
Y'all like
Okay. First of all, that is not Lizzo. So let's just keep it real.
She had a baby. She don't even look like that no more.
Y'all making me nauseous.
Ladies, you can beat. There's nothing wrong with being thick, but just do it the right way. Don't, man. Black America, we're gonna have to holler. That is not Lizzo. I can promise you. Man, if you walked in with that woman, you wouldn't make it to the car. Even the valet would be like, damn.
That's right. All the heads turn. Now, it's okay to be a big girl and look like her, looking like an egg with sacks of potatoes all around it. It's a completely different thing. Yes, Lizzo has a man, but he's a complete bum. He does. Gabrielle Sinnebay has a man who she is paying for, and he's a white boy. Like, you guys gotta really look at the context of what's going on. And there's nothing wrong with her dating a white dude. Don't get me wrong. But if you're a bad looking woman, you're gonna get a bottom of the barrel type of guy. Those two men, especially the white boy, he looks straight trailer park. He's bottom of the barrel. Lizzo dude, nobody even knows his name. He's bottom of the barrel with one of supposedly the biggest female music stars that's in rap. Like nobody even know who this dude is.
But why do we need to know who he is?
Man, my whole YouTube, my whole algorithm is gonna be big girls. Man, there's some bad BBWs out there. I may have to stand
Shout
corrected.
out.
But ain't nothing wrong with being bigger. Just do it a certain way. That's like, listen, ladies, seriously, you can hate me if you want to, but you up your odds. Like I was at a gas station and I saw this girl. She had on these red heels, hair was done, and she was a big girl. I mean, she was like me and her. She was too big for me. Like me and her dated, we would look like the number 10. But every dude in the gas station watched her walk inside. And she came, I said, girl, get it, girl. I said, you got your shit together. And I just got in the car. So there's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Make an effort to just say, oh, I'm just going to be Lizzo. Lizzo got cash, so she could do that.
Can I ask something?
No, go for it.
You ever watch My 600-Pound Life?
Oh, not on purpose.
You ever notice that the women on there are always in a relationship? And most of the time, they man be doing something. And then they be mad when they lose weight. Like that lady who was on there, her man, he had money and they had a baby and she lost the weight. She did everything. Dr. Now wasn't talking to her crazy. She lost her weight and her husband divorced her.
Oh, wow.
They be getting
Those
left
men
on that
are
show when they
dependent
lose
on
weight.
women. Those men are dependent on women, like women that date men that are in prison because they know where they're at. It's a codependency thing. It's not healthy.
But you know what helps all of this is being on a track to being more secure. Because what it really attracts people at the end of the day is security. I promise you. And as you see men mature, and I'm gonna swing the other direction a little bit. As you see men mature and really get more stable, their women appear to be less glossy, less flossy. Like if you look at Robert Downey Jr.'s wife, she's not that. If you look at even like Pierce Bronson, Brad Pitt, if you look at, I don't know if he's still with this chick, but she isn't all like glitzy, glammy, or what's his name? Keanu Reeves. His wife ain't all like that. So I think men get to a certain point of maturity, they maybe start to look at other things. Their wives are still attractive, but they're not all like Instagrammy. They just look like regular chicks, but they probably have a lot in common. And so I think women, you guys could learn from that. It's not about the shoes or the makeup for us. That stuff gets old. Every girl has on makeup. Every girl has a cute pair of shoes. And if that's how you think you're going to keep your man, then he's going to be cheating on you every time he get a chance, because like the girl, Tasha is my homegirl. Me and her don't sleep together. She's helping me with some business stuff. That is my homegirl. But like, can you imagine if I was just attracted to sexy women and I was like, okay, the next sexy girl I'm going to be with? That's a challenge. You want your man, you guys want something in common. And you need to put a tracker on his phone. You could track his iPhone, put a tracker on his car. When you call your man, do it on FaceTime. That way you know where he's at. That's game. I mean, and if he don't let you track him, he ain't your man.
So M want to know where y'all the black women examples.
What are you talking
I
about?
was thinking, but I didn't want
Most
to
of the
say
black
that.
women women I'm talking about are black women. The girl I just left was a black woman.
When you named out like Keanu Reeves and all of them.
I mean, look at Denzel's wife. His wife's not an Instagram model.
Oh, I'm about to say, did you talk about Paulette?
I'm saying he got a normal looking wife. I mean, I was looking at James Evans. He had a normal. I'm just throwing that out there for y'all. You guys listen.
I have a question for you. when you say normal looking wives, do you think men date these extravagant baddies or whatever women that look a certain type of way? Do you think they're doing that for themselves, or do you think they're doing that so they can have a certain perception to other men?
Probably the latter. I mean, I've dated women from average to like super bad. You can't even take her nowhere. I can't believe I'm getting ready to say this. I want to be with a cute girl. She don't have to be to the point where I can't take her anywhere, and she needs the attention. That stuff is drama. I've done that, taking a girl out, and she just like worried about how she looks. That's exhausting. I would be cool at the end of the day with a good-looking girl, and most women have the chance to do that. You know, you can eat a certain way, you can exercise. You don't have to hit the gym all day, every day, but just move your body, eat a certain way, and ways that you carry yourself. A lot of you women would not be single. I promise you. You single women that are out there that are truly looking for a man, sometimes you can just loosen up, relax. Stop letting your single girlfriends give you advice on how to be in a relationship. The girl I'm seeing now, her single friend said something to her, was like, okay, well, whatever. I just hope you're happy. I was like, the last ding-a-ling she saw was on a billboard. Ain't no man walking up on her. Stop letting your single men in your relationship conversations. You want to be married? Spend time with married women. You want to be in a relationship? Spend time with women who are in a relationship, and they will tell you, here's what I do to keep this dude, and vice versa. We got to fight to keep women too. So it ain't just one way. Men, we struggle too trying to keep a woman. But I think men, it's more on our side because we can just make money and we can treat a woman a certain way, and that goes a long ways.
Macy says, what's the ideal size for a woman?
Well, I'm 5'9", I'm 170. So for me, you know, I could probably date somebody up until, you know, if she was 5'4", up to like 160. And then at that point, you know, we start to look like the number 10. In my opinion. But it really just depends.
I'm saying nothing over for him. He's 145. I'm 170. So nothing over 170, 175.
And it depends how tall she is. If she's 3'2" and is she 160, then we got a problem. So that I'm just speaking for me. But I've dated, my sister would tell you, I've dated some thick women, some curvy girls, and I have no shame in doing it. And honestly, man, I'm going to hell for this too. Oh man, help me, Jesus.
Think 5 times before you speak, brother.
Thick women feel better. I'm gonna close with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna close too because what you say, Black America?
I said more cushion for the push. I dig it. 175, 5'6".
So then y'all
That's
sound like
good.
y'all would love Lizzo. What's the
No,
problem?
Lizzo is not 160.
No, Lizzo she's way over 200 pounds. Somewhere way over 200 pounds. Probably almost 300 pounds. She's probably almost 300 pounds.
She really not. I ain't gonna put her business out there, but she looked like the Ozampic's been doing this thing.
So maybe if Lizzo is a pretty woman. Listen, all jokes aside, Lizzo is an attractive woman. If she had her face on like a profile pic and you just saw her face, you could be like, yo, she is cute. And she could lose 40, 50 pounds, and her headshot, you wouldn't be able to tell that she was that heavy. So I'm not going to sit here and knock her and say she's not attractive. I'm just saying she could lose some weight, and it would help women because women feel like, oh, I can just be big, but that's going to cause health problems too. If you're 275 pounds, it's going to become a day well, your body's gonna be like, F it, I give up.
I'm about to give up too. I'm about to throw up. That's too much information. I don't know. I got like nauseous. Maybe it's the conversation. Maybe I don't know. But we're gonna get out of here because I'd hate for y'all to see that. But anyway, we'll be back here on Sunday. Yeah. Thank you all for being here. We love you. Good night.
Yeah.